went out of control when I added to the collection this year, but let's talk about it.
Hey everyone, it's Taylor and welcome back to Above the Yellow Line. If you are on this video, you are watching part 2 of the merchandise episodes. If you haven't seen part 1, make sure to check it out, linked in the description below. In part 1, I showed you half of my collection. This part, we're going to show you the rest of my collection. Now, unfortunately, there are some things that I do not have with me at the moment that I will not be able to show, so I have more stuff. It just won't be in this video, but at least you'll get to see a majority of it, and some things I might not show in this video, I have in my videos from last year, or I guess early this year, so make sure to check those out as well. But without further ado, let's get to it. Before we get into the diecast though, I realized I left out the Funko Pops in the part 1 video. I don't think there's any new additions since the last merchandise haul I did last year for you all. I would really like to find the Dale Jr. one to add to this collection. The others I'm wanting to add is the Bill Elliott one with the world's fastest race car sign and Dale Sr.'s where he's in his car. Straying away from NASCAR for a few, I did finally add IndyCar diecast to the collection, and what's crazy about these is I feel like they're now time capsules because many of these drivers are changing teams in the 2024 season. Really the only team that's staying the same is Penske, I think. Now I got a lot of these at Mid-Ohio this past summer, and this 1/18 scale diecast of Devlin DeFrancesco was a gift from the team. Shout out to Steinbrenner for hosting me at Mid-Ohio for their race day. It was an absolute blast to have an introduction like that to IndyCar. Slowly jumping back into NASCAR, this is the 75th anniversary LEGO Technics set, and if you've watched the live streams a while back, you saw me build this thing, and oh my god, I struggled with this so bad, but it looks great. It actually got me back into building LEGO, and now I feel like I'm building like 3 to 4 sets a month, which has been super fun, but this was a very intricate build that took a very long time. Moving on to haulers. Now, I think the new haulers that I did not show last time are this Kyle Busch M&Ms, the Ryan Blaney Advanced Auto, and the Jimmy Johnson Allied Camaro hauler, which I love. I'm wanting to work on collecting more of these in the future. They're just so fun and unique to have, and they break up all the individual diecasts that I have. And speaking of authentics, here are some of the 1/64 authentics that I have. I'm actually selling some of these on my eBay page to make some space. The link to that is on my social media pages. Believe me, these were fun to collect. We had some good times going to my local Targets and Walmarts, but I think it just became more of a hassle than anything, and I just can't keep up. I really want to shift my focus to those haulers, 124s, and the mini helmets for the foreseeable future. This bin is called the Bin of Nightmares. These are the loose 164s that I have. If you want to see them all lined up, make sure to check out my old merchandise video. But no need to fear, we still have the 164s that are still protected by their boxes. I have a lot of new additions to this part of my collection. For example, I started the tradition of getting the race weekend program car whenever they're sold. I also made sure to collect the 75th NASCAR anniversary commemorative diecast from each manufacturer. Now, most of these, if not all of them, came from the tents at the track or from the Circle B Black Friday sale. Quite frankly, the same goes for the 124s that I have. But after this, we go to some of the weirder parts of the diecast collection that I have. By this, I mean there's unique finds that just don't quite fit in with the other categories that I have, like the Mia and Tia diecast from Cards. Shout out to my sister for finding that. We also have the Hooters 500 Richard Petty diecast with a cool Hot Wheels Mark Martin diecast beside it. Of course, we have some Texas Terry too. You will see a theme moving forward with these, I promise. And a fun Target find was the Guido and Luigi Halloween toy. And of course, we have the Winner's Circle Dale Sr. Daytona 500 Win diecast 164. I told you there was a theme brewing. I need more Terry Labonte diecast. He had some of my favorite schemes in NASCAR history, and I think the number 5 as a whole, just all together, did back in the day. Now I'm biased towards the Kellogg schemes, particularly the Tony the Tiger ones. The blue and the orange together is just perfection, especially when you can get a color chrome version. Now I showed these last video, but these are the bank versions of the Dale Jr. and Dale Sr. Coca-Cola schemes that were run in Japan. These are some of my favorites of all time. I love when Trackhouse threw it back to these schemes. Regardless, we move on to the Kevin Harvick diecast. And again, I will say that Kevin Harvick's diecasts are some of my favorites. You see the Busch Apple Michigan Win car from 2022 that I showed you last year, but the new additions are this 2018 Pennzoil 400 Jimmy John's diecast from Harvick's win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. My favorite diecast usually consist of color chrome or race 1 versions with confetti, so that fits the bill. And I am also a sucker though for the classics like this Busch Series Harvick Reese's car, thanks to Dom for the last 2 diecasts. Moving on though, we have one or two new additions in this frame. I love the RFK schemes. Their team really nailed it this past year especially. Now, I do have more Ryan Blaney diecast on the way, so stay tuned, but this new edition of the Chase Elliott Jimmie Johnson throwback honorary scheme is awesome. Most of these in this frame here are new as well. That 2006 number 33 Tony Stewart Old Spice scheme is gorgeous, and shout out to Stephen Conley for that Bobby Labonte Small Soldiers patriotic car. It's beautiful. And there's more new ones right here too. I believe the new additions here are that number 22 AAA color chrome car. Only 72 of those diecasts were made, and I have the 72nd. Again, I'm a sucker for color chrome diecast, but I also love the ones with fun sponsors like this Lucky Charms one, the Hot Wheels one, that bring me back to my childhood. I wish we had more appearances from these brands in the future. The other new diecast is this signed number 40 Trevor Bayne Circle B diecast truck. Now this group right here, I'm incredibly excited about. You will see right away that I finally got my 124 Jimmie Johnson cars. One of my favorite schemes from him is the Power of Pride car. So when I saw that at the Roval this past year in the tents, I had to buy it immediately. Another one is the classic Lowe's scheme, but this diecast is special because it's a rookie car. You can see the rookie stripes on the back. Both were incredible finds from the Roval this year. I cannot believe I got these. Of course, we have the Kurt Busch 2022 Kansas Win car and a really cool Dave Blaney diecast with the Fast and the Furious on the hood. Thank you, Toby Christie, for that one. You've seen most of these cars in this frame already. The number 81 Dale Jr. Busch Series Menards car has to be one of my favorites in this group right here. I think it's a really underappreciated scheme, but when you put it next to this National Guard color chrome diecast, I mean, come on, it's one of my favorites of all time. And as a side note, if Dirty Mo Media comes out with an Actions Detrimental diecast, you better believe I will buy it. Last but not least, the absolute newest diecast in my collection from the Circle B Black Friday sale this year. All but one of them is signed, and these were heavily discounted. I was shocked how little I was able to get these at. First up, I finally got a signed Bubba Wallace First Win diecast from Talladega. This has to be one of my favorite of the McDonald's basic schemes, though I wish we could go back to something like this in 2024. Perhaps one of my new favorite buys is this 2018 Brad Keselowski Coke 600 Miller Lite Color Chrome diecast. Now, his patriotic schemes are always my favorite, but the fact that this is chrome and it's signed makes this diecast that much more special to me. I was thrilled to add in this 2019 Grant Enfinger Regular Season Championship diecast, one of the slickest looking trucks of that season in my personal opinion. I just think it's very clean looking. This diecast is also signed, and I had to get the diecast from an Ohio team. Just the Ohio girl with an Ohio team. It makes sense. This is yet another signed diecast, this one from Christopher Bell from his first Cup Series win at the Daytona Road Course. I completely underestimated him going to the number 20 car, but boy was I wrong, and am I glad I was wrong. It's been cool to see his rise as one of the best Toyota drivers in the field. I'm definitely a Bell fan now. Finally, the diecast I think I have the most attachment to is this 2017 Chase Elliott Checkers or Wreckers Fall Martinsville diecast. This was the moment in my first full year of watching the sport that I knew I was all in. I was absolutely enraged the moment that Elliott was taken out of his first win. Like, that was the first time I think I've ever actually yelled at my TV. But since then, I've come a long way. But this diecast is a reminder of my roots in the sport, how I grew to love it, and now working in it, it takes me back. So I thought this was a pretty cool diecast, and I am so glad I found it. So what did you think of my entire NASCAR collection? Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if there are things I should add, things that you also have. Just keep the comment section rolling. To keep up to date on all things NASCAR and motorsports related, make sure to follow TobyChristieCom on all social media platforms and visit TobyChristie.com to read more of the latest NASCAR news. Also, make sure to check out my website, AboveTheYellowLine.com, for ATYL merchandise and more about us and what we do. I am really nervous to make this video next year because there's so much stuff that I could accumulate in a year's period of time. Like I said last video, I have so many diecasts that I have on pre-order. I'm very nervous, but I'm sure you all are looking forward to what the video has in store next year. But yeah, that is it for this episode of ATYL. Thank you all so much for your support, and until next time, I'll see ya. Bye.